All right, I'm on hole number 9 of the Paradise Islands tournament. Let's go check out hole number 9. I think I know what the hole this is. This is Koh Hong Resort, and it's hole number 9, I think. Koh Hong Resort, hole number 9. That is it. We're taking the right-hand route, which means we're playing in a tournament, because the only time I play to the right is when I'm playing in a tournament. And we're trying to get to the trees. I talked about this yesterday in one of the videos, but I'll talk about it again right here. The goal is if you have, okay, choice number 1 is a rock, especially if you got it in level 8 or any level that where if it hits raw distance farther than your QB, your raw distance up here. But if you got a level 8, your red line's like up here and you're back from your red line and you're just trying to dribble up, you're putting on max top spin, max left-hand side spin, and just trying to bleed it up there. I actually put a tick on my grid and I'll pop my grid up so we can see what the deal is. But if you're playing from pro, you're actually at the red line. So your red line's back here because you're from a farther tee, and you can do this exact same shot and put yourself in the exact same spot so that you can try and get an Albie, because this is an Albie hole from this side if you can make this drive. And so we want to bring our super accurate club. And you can do the same exact shot with a QB, but if you're playing from the pro tees with a QB, you will have to work the shot a little. It'll be a little different because you'll be a little short. And so you'll have to look at that shot. I'm not sure exactly what it'll look like if you got a lower QB. I think you can do it fine. Well, from rookie, you can do it fine, but pro, I'm not sure like what the shot looks like. Taking a rock and a sniper. I'm taking a kingmaker. What account am I in? I'm in my auto account. I'm going to take a Titan just because of all the wonderful things he does. I'll bring a Titan just because I have more of them in this account. It's my practice account, so I don't use a lot of the really good stuff in my practice account. The whole deal is it's meant to go out there. The whole deal is I want to try and be able to go out there and play it with just the mortal balls that we can find in the store. If we can play these holes with a freaking Marlin, we can play these holes with a Titan, the king of balls. I mean, that's the deal. So like when you bring out a special ball, there's got to be a purpose for it. That's why I like with the special balls, I don't necessarily hoard them. But if there's no reason for me to bring it out, there's no reason for me to bring it out. If I can get it done with a Titan or a Kingmaker, why wouldn't I do that? The low wind balls are the ones that are key, because some of these holes, the way that they've done the wind now, you're right at your red line unless you have a low wind ball. And I like the shot to the left if you're trying to get an eagle, because you have a limited shot at an Albie. There is a shot out there that you can do over the trees that will give you a shot at Albie, but it's not nearly as clean as the shot to the right. And I hit over here all the time. And so I know that shot coming in here very well, and it does not lend itself to Albie in any way, shape, or form. And so there's my red line. So if you're in pro, your red line's going to be back here. And so there's no difference in this shot setup between pro and expert, or between pro and rookie. I'm going to be about 2 rings off, and that's aiming me towards the shadows. I'm going to take 2-2 out. I'm going to be 2.5 rings off. It's aiming me towards the shadows out there from the trunk. 2-2. Damn it, I forgot to put my grid up. I have a tick mark out here. Isn't it perfect? I'm trying to weave it around and try and get up there to the shadow where the fronds are at. And this bounce right there is the critical one. If you over curl it, you'll clip that rough. And you'll end up in front of them. And I want to end up right at them, because that puts me in where I'm in my distance in my sniper, where I have to do very little maneuver, like just a little teeny bit of backspin or a little teeny bit of topspin. I'd really like to get it where I could do like a little bit of backspin. because then you can control it a little bit more when it's coming up to the cup. And this is what I'm talking about on this shot. You have no shot at Albie, but it's a pretty easy eagle if you know how to take that shot. I take that shot all the time, so I know how to do that shot. This is the shot I don't take all the time, so that's the deal. The ball guide is slightly lying. I'm going to pull back just a little, even though I have room because it's jogging. Two. I'm going to do a 10%, so there's 2-4. Hitting it perfect. So we get a pretty good read here. I think it's going to go long. Just a bit outside. I don't know which way the wind was blowing. It's almost like I did an overpull there and I added on 10%, so it's like I didn't need to add on the 10%. Or I might have been a little off trajectory. I should have zoomed in down there to look to see if I was on. It looked like I was on. That should be in the hole. In the hole. Nice shot. I'll give you a bonus and I'll forfeit. So the difference there is that I had a legitimate shot at Albie and just missed it. And my opponent had a tough time getting eagle because they ended up in the sand. But that shot over there that shot from that other side is just an eagle shot. I mean, there's not really any chance you'll get an Albie. And I'm definitely not practicing this hole. Don't come to this hole without a guardian. All right, that was hole number 9. Let's see where we ended up. I think I picked up 1. I did. I picked up hole number 1. I picked up that eagle by doing the max overpower hook shot and getting up there and giving myself a pitch at it. So as the week goes on, the minus 12 is the minimum score, and you can see like how high the minus 12 is going to get you. So yesterday going in, I think in 77 and odd odds qualifying brackets, minus 13 or minus 12 was the top. So the minimum score being minus 12. So if the minimum score, let's erase that. So the minimum score is minus 12. And we're looking at minus 24 is what we're trying to get going into the opening round. And this is what our goal is, minus 24, because minus 24 going out there and just like playing for the minimum score. I mean, how hard can that be? We were doing it with Marlins from the Pro Tee. That's what we practiced over the weekend and stuff, is just doing it with a Marlin from the Pro Tee. If you can't get it done with a Titan or a King of Balls, or the King of Balls or the Kingmaker, what's the deal? I mean, the minimum score minus 24 should be in the bag. So, I mean, look at where we're at in these brackets. We got the top 4 players here with a minus 12 or better. And the brackets I saw from yesterday, minus 12 was the top, but it was like the top 2, top 3. So if they take 10 of these brackets and we've got the top 3 are 12 or 13 or 12 plus, and 3 out of, that means 30% of the people going into the opening round shot the minimum score. So like looking at where you'd be at as far as tiebreakers, you're in the top 30% going in. And if you go in and shoot the minimum score in the opening round, you're going to be back in that top 30%. Because some of the people that were in that 30% will fall out, and some people will pick that stuff up. But what you will see is these 13s, or you'll start seeing some 14s. You'll start seeing some bigger scores come up. And you want to be ramping yourself up so that this 24 is like in the bag. You're not worried about it at all. You're focused on everything is about picking shots up. Picking up hole number 1, picking up those par 4s that we're doing those max overpower hook shots on, getting yourself out there in the spot, picking up those par 3s. Like trying to get where we got 3 par 3s and we're trying to work out a way where we can get a hole in one on all 3 of them. And working the par 5s, and every single thing you're doing for the rest of the week is about trying to pick shots up. Because we should have this 24 in the bag by the time we qualify. So when we go into the opening round, we're past this. We're just working on this stuff up here. We want to tighten ourselves up going out of the weekend round. We want to pull ourselves out of the weekend round instead of with a 24, but with like a 26 or a 28, and some number that's higher than a 24, so that we can pull ourselves up out of that top 30% and get ourselves in the top 10 and tiebreakers. It'll make a big difference, because in the weekend round, if you run flat and let's say you just shot the minimum score in the weekend round, if you came in with a -12, -26, you're going to be the top -24, and that's going to be a big group. So you'll go from like what could potentially be a top 30 to possibly like a top 16 or top 15, because you were the top guy at -24, or top player, excuse me, ladies, top player at -24. So it's good to have good tiebreakers. And this minimum score, I know that the minimum score stuff seems like it's non-glamorous, but the whole thing is that you'd be amazed at how much minimum score will get you in placement in these tournaments. And if you maintain that, you will never not make a weekend round. Occasionally we're on one of those tournaments like the Community Cup, where every freaking hole is like an Albie hole, and you make 5 or 6 Albies in a round. But those tournaments, that's not this type of tournament. This type of tournament, just shoot the minimum score, and we know how to do it. We did it in pro. All right, that was the qualifying round for my practice account, and I'm going to do the same thing in my main account and just play it out. I think what I'll do on my main account is I'm just going to play 9 holes straight, and I'll do it in one video. But I want to have videos set up so that when I do these holes in the future, I can pull off of this and I can show a hole that I demoed, did the stuff on. All right. I will catch you on the 77 account. Thanks for watching.